Hey, what is up? It is Ross from Spiritual Phoenix Studios here, and today we are going to be talking about the Hanged Man card. A nickname that I have for this card is the Surrender card, largely because if you look at it, the person is pretty much surrendering to the circumstances at hand. When we look at the key meanings of the Hanged Man, it can mean a fresh outlook. Obviously, when you're hanging upside down, you're looking at things a bit differently. Self-sacrifice, implying that they've put themselves in this position intentionally so they could learn something. Patience, because you're kind of stuck in that position. Surrender, because at times the universe will kind of put us to the sidelines of life intentionally so we can learn a lesson. And then prophecy, because when we're in these times of slowing down and looking at things differently, we can sometimes gain information that we might not have been able to gain otherwise. Now, when this card comes up in reverse, it can mean selfishness, like slowing down things intentionally for your own gain. It can mean martyrdom, kind of sacrificing yourself just for glory. Or it can mean prosecution, like you have been hung up to dry by other people. Astrologically, this card is associated with Gemini, which can mean intuition and enlightenment. That's also another meaning of this card is enlightenment, hence the halo around the person's head. Mercy and compassion. And then some of the negative traits of Gemini are deception and trickery, and guilt and addiction. If you're stuck there for too long, you might need to try to self-soothe. That's how addiction ties into all of that stuff. Moving on to the element, it is associated with the element of water, which is spiritual energy, emotional energy, compassion, intuitive, empathic, genuine, heartfelt. Numerology, this card is relative to 12. 12 embodies a reversed self-sufficient creative, a reserved self-sufficient creative force. And if you look at it, this person is kind of harnessing their energy, using it for enlightenment and using it to take a different perspective. It's largely generating this creative energy from being in this position. When this card comes up in a reading about home life, it can indicate that a creative solution might exist. Again, slowing down, looking at things differently, coming up with a different perspective. It can also say to invest your time wisely while you wait, because again, this card can mean patience. This can say things are going to take a while, so make sure that you're utilizing your time in the most effective way. In relationships, this card can mean an unwillingness to commit, kind of like they're hanging on by a thread. That last thing I said didn't really tie up. That was kind of off the cuff. Waiting to be seen as a partner rather than a friend. So again, there's this sense of being hung up to dry. In career and money, this card can indicate wait to sign contracts or deals with legal matters. And it can also indicate decisions at a job might affect your position. Some self-reflections questions for this card are: how could pausing and looking at a situation help you? And how can acceptance or surrendering to the situation help you? And then to personalize it, when has the slow progression of events allowed you to see the bigger picture? And when has accepting an unavoidable situation been helpful? So this card is relative to all of the Knights. Ironically, the energy of this is different than the Knights, though, because the Hangman card is about not moving, and then the Knight cards are all about movement. There is still somewhat of a connection there, though. And this card would also be relative to the Empress in numerology: femininity, abundance, growth, expansion. And if you look at it, there's the tree there. The Empress is largely, again, about growth and this kind of stuff. So it's kind of being planted so you can grow. Another way, other two cards that tie into this card would be the High Priestess. Being in this situation gives you the ability for prophecy and the ability to tune into your intuitive gifts. And it would also be relative to the Magician. For the one in the card, the Magician is all about power, action, and creativity, which you could gain by being in this position, gaining new information, and then letting it loose. So The Hangman card is largely about self-sacrifice. The Hangman card is largely about surrender and being put in a position to look at things differently. In reverse, it is about self-sacrifice and martyrdom. All that said, if this was helpful for you, please drop a like, leave a comment, and see you next time. Peace.